Hey, it's Sean at Click Theory here. We're going to take a look at drop shipping in Odoo. So this workflow is going to include the sale, the purchase, and the shipping. So we're going to look at from the perspective of the salesperson, the perspective of the purchasing manager, and the perspective of the warehouse manager or shipper receiver or whoever would be controlling the shipping out of your warehouse and confirming that the shipping has been shipped from the vendor to the customer direct for drop shipping. Let's start in sales and let's sell some items. Now we're going to sell to Marvin the Martian. We do have some custom automations here that I'm just going to tick on because they save time. So we're just going to mark anything that's in stock is going to deliver immediately, and we're going to automatically create and post the invoices. So we'll just tick those on. You can see here that this item is in stock, so we can definitely sell and deliver this today. This item is not in stock, but we're actually going to drop ship this one direct from the vendor to the customer anyway. So this item's not going to come through our warehouse, it's going to go direct to Marvin the Martian. So what we're going to do is, under this route column here, which isn't active by default, you need to activate this. But if we just choose drop ship, then this item now you see is available because we're not shipping it from our warehouse where there is no stock. We're going to drop ship direct to the customer. So let's confirm this quote to an order. So it's going to move to order status. And you can see that there are now 3 smart buttons up here. So the delivery and the invoice is normal. If there was no drop shipping, we would see both of these. And you can, of course, open up the delivery and look at it. We have a small customization here where you can get some visibility of the invoices and delivery orders associated with the sale order right here. So there's a little bit of info, and if we just pop this open, you get some brief information on it. So you can see that this is going to Marvin the Martian. The operation type is delivery orders, and the source is from stock. So very simple, and this is already marked done as if it's shipped. And then the invoice is the invoice for both items here, and that's already posted. And then, of course, if the customer is paying now, then you can register the payment. Now, what you don't see in here in your shipments is that drop shipped item. But Odoo automatically created this purchase order, so let's just link over to the purchase order from the sale order here. And you can see that this purchase order says deliver to dropship, and the dropship address is the address of our friend Marvin the Martian. So if we just link over, there's Marvin's address. That's our purchase order. Now, in this case, we're looking at the scenario as if the salesperson is not going to confirm the draft purchase order to or our queue, I suppose, in Odoo lingo, but in our case, this draft purchase order to an unconfirmed order. So we're going to look at it from the purchasing manager's perspective. The salesperson can link over there, sure, but let's go into purchase and be the purchasing manager. So again, just looking at our really simple chart here, we just dealt with this, now we're here. So the purchasing manager, of course, has their RFQs or purchase orders to process up here, and there are 18, and the most recent one is this one here. This purchase order has that item on it that's being drop shipped, and so he's looking at this very same order. So purchasing manager is cool with it. He's going to confirm this order, and now we have our order sent to the vendor, and the drop ship is created right here by Odoo. Now, what is this? So let's click through. So you can see that this says DS number 5, so drop ship 5. So this is similar to what you're used to seeing if you're shipping out of your warehouse, which would be a warehouse out or a WH/out. But since this isn't sending from your warehouse, it's going to be DS dropship. Now, if your purchasing manager is also doing your shipping receiving, or if that's the person who's managing the dropship, they can just validate this. But in our case, our purchasing manager is done. He's ordered the item. Now we're dealing with shipping, and that would be the warehouse manager or shipper receiver. So let's go look at this dropship from the shipper receiver's perspective. So we're going to go into inventory where the shipper receiver lives. And here are all of the things. All these purple buttons show you the shipper receiver's day. And you can see that in dropship, there is one to process. So if we click on that purple button, here we are. There's our dropship number 5. It is ready to roll. So purchasing is already confirmed. The item's available at the vendor and it can ship. Now, whether you validate this once you've confirmed that it has shipped from the vendor, or you validate it once it's reached the customer, is up to you. The more standard way to do it would be once it ships from the vendor, you would validate this. And of course, you can always add in your tracking reference and stuff here if you like. You can also log notes in the chatter, whatever tickles your fancy. So that's just about it. So let's say this, we've confirmed that this has shipped from the supplier. So confirmed, we'll just add a note, shipped from vendor or whatever. And we'll validate it. And it's done. Now let's just pop back over to sales again and take a look at the sale order now that all of that has happened. So now that all of that has happened, at the top here you see there's a link over to that dropship where we just were. That it's kind of like your warehouse out, but it's a dropship instead. There's a link to the delivery order, which we see right here, and actually your dropship, Odoo's added your dropship item here too. We'll look at these in a moment. And your invoices, which are here as well, and then your purchase order, which we looked at. So let's just quickly pop these open. So again, remember this one was made right away, this warehouse out for the item we had in stock and shipped from our warehouse. And then this one shows you the operation type is dropship, source location is partners, vendors, destination location is customers. So direct from the vendor to the customer. So we've got a nice, tidy sale order here with all of the information for the sale, including the invoicing, the shipping, even the drop shipping, and it's linked over to the order as well. Pretty cool. Okay, I know that we're going to get some questions in the comments about how to configure this. This is not really the scope of this video. This is more about what the workflow looks like for users of Odoo, but we'll cover a little bit of the setup just so I don't have to type the answers out in the comments. And you can find a lot of this information like enabling dropshipping. I mean, there's lots of places to find this, including Odoo's own documentation. This part though, adding route in here, it's really going to depend on which version you have. But first let's start with just how you enable dropshipping. So you would go into settings. I don't believe you need to be in developer mode or debug mode, whatever you'd like to call it. Once you're in here, Odoo will put your cursor in the search bar automatically, so just type dropship or just drop, and there you go. You can see dropshipping is enabled. So tick the box, doesn't matter whether you're in purchase or inventory, you just tick the box. That's really all there is to enabling dropshipping. Okay, let's go back to the sale order again and look at that column. We're not going to go too deep into how this works. So for this route column, if you are on Odoo Enterprise, you can enable that by making a custom module if you like. It would be a really simple customization, or you can just reveal it from Studio as well. So whatever way works best for you. If you are not using Odoo Enterprise, you're on community version, then it's going to be a little bit different for you to get this going. If you're not a developer, contact someone who is, and they'll do this for you. It's really simple.